You know, for a lot of us guys, our problems are oftentimes self-inflicted. But the story is no different for these two guys here who decided to fly all the way from Canada to California just to meet a girl that they met online and quickly became obsessed with. This is a cautionary story of about what happens when you allow your obsessions to get the best of you and you decide to not think rationally and make stupid decisions and end up in jail and slightly beat up. Anyway, let's take a look at this video.
A warning for online gamers after police say a man became obsessed with his co-player and ended up stalking her and trying to kill her. Here's ABC's Andrea Fujii.
This morning, a warning for online gamers after police say two men traveled from Canada to California to find and attack a fellow female gamer.
We know that online gaming is a big thing nowadays, and you just have to be cautious.
Law enforcement says Canadian Devin Vanderhoff and a Monterey County woman knew each other from online gaming after playing together for years. They say last week, Vanderhoff and his friend, Darius White, took a flight and traveled to her home.
It led to what we are calling an obsession, to where the point that Mr. Vanderhoff ended up flying from Canada down to Salinas, California, began following our victim and getting to know her pattern of life.
I'm not gonna lie, this definitely does sound like these two were playing video games often, like, you know, frequently or whatever the case may be. And, you know, on his end, and this is where a lot of guys mess up, because sometimes they think when a girl's just being nice to them, they automatically assume that she's interested in them, but that's not the case. And I think for this gentleman in particular, he probably thought that because they played video games so often and so frequent, that must have meant that there was a chance for something romantic to happen. So of course, over the years, learning, you know, her address and things of that nature, he probably planned on visiting her. And then once he found out about her boyfriend, which you'll hear about in the video coming up, then he decided to change, you know, strategies or whatever the case is. Whatever the case may be, this is fucking weird. Let's be completely honest. Listen, you can't convince me that long distance relationships are a thing, and the same goes for friendships as well. If you are more than 10 to 12 miles away from me, we're not friends. We're not friends. We probably talk online, sure, but the idea that people get to know each other and become amicable or close friends or even relationships based off of, you know, communication they've had damn near a whole ocean across from each other is ridiculous. Don't assume that, because people are crazy, and clearly this is no different.
Authorities say the two men posed as delivery drivers holding a package. They say when the woman's boyfriend answered the door, Vanderhoff stabbed him. When the woman jumped in to help, she was stabbed as well. Both the boyfriend and Vanderhoff were taken to the hospital. Vanderhoff's friend got away, but was arrested at the airport.
Guys coming from Vancouver to Salinas to pose as an Amazon delivery person and stab somebody. I mean, it's extraordinary.
Law enforcement says this all could have been a lot worse because inside that package were handcuffs, duct tape, and knives. They say it's a cautionary tale for online gamers.
Don't divulge personal information to people, because you just don't know who is on that other end.
And he's absolutely right. Why give out that kind of information? We could have been friends for decades, playing Xbox together as homies. But if I don't know you personally, like I haven't seen you in person, I haven't shook your hand, I haven't said words to you face to face, as far as I know, you're a stranger. And I think for a lot of guys, especially when you get caught up in constantly playing video games, you don't really have a social life, anyone who gravitates towards you or reaches out and, you know, attempts to be social, especially if they're a woman, you automatically assume that this person is into you. Guys, let this be the ultimate warning. Just because she's nice to you does not mean she likes you. And the last thing you want is to assume that she's romantically interested in you, and then you start concocting stories in your head of you two potentially being together, only for that to come crashing down when you realize the reality of it is, A, if you're anything like this guy and she's long distance, odds are she probably is seeing someone who's nearby. And B, I'm pretty sure that if this was a situation that would have led to some sort of romantic coupling of sorts, I'm pretty sure she would let you know at some point as well. Because women, much like men, also like romantic shit. And if they like you, they'll let you know. The ultimate lesson here, if she likes you, she'll let you know. And just because she's nice to you does not mean you should automatically assume that you two are going to be a thing or an item, because it don't happen like that, man. And that's the thing about guys. You know, a lot of the times we automatically assume these things, and that's not life, bro. You know, again, just because she smiles at you doesn't mean anything.
Both men are charged with attempted murder. Authorities say the woman is okay. The boyfriend is recovering.
Damn.
A warning.
Now, can you imagine, just imagine being this boyfriend. Personally, I have a bunch of questions to ask too, because firstly, and this is just my opinion, I don't like my woman too friendly. I don't like my woman too friendly. I just don't want guys to get the idea that she might be interacting with you in that fashion, right? But more so, I think the ultimate takeaway here is that, you know, when it comes to social dynamics or just anything that involves two people interacting with one another, there needs to be some clear set boundaries and some clear set definitions and terms for what that thing is. Because the last thing you want is for anyone to get some sort of idea and then, you know, follow through with some sort of action, which could then be detrimental to either how they think of you or how they act towards you, etc., etc. Case in point, all I'm trying to say here is, at the end of the day, A, just because you know someone online doesn't mean you know them in person and you know their character. B, shouldn't be giving out all your information to people that you don't really know in person anyway. And C, fellas, I said this before, I'm gonna say it one more time. Just because she's nice to you and talks to you does not mean she wants to be in a relationship with you. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Here's a question. If you were her boyfriend and you caught wind of, you know, their interactions before he even decided to step foot in California, what would you do? Curious to knowing what you think. Leave them in the comments below. Make sure you check out some of the links in the description as well. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We're on our way to 10K, and I want you to be a part of the community. We're less than, I think, like less than what, 500 subscribers? But anyway, join the community, become part of the Maison de Wa roommates, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.